This video will be a brief showcase of my account and the roster that I have built right now. I did kind of brush over it in the introduction to this channel, but I'm just letting you be a part of the free-to-play adventure that is Battle of Demonland for me. As you know, when you start out, you are gifted an infinity summon scroll. That means you can summon with this scroll until you get a character of your liking, and then you save this one, and then you get that exact 10 pull, I think it was. In my case, I started out and I did this for probably like 10-20 minutes, and then I finally ended up with the character that I found acceptable. In my case, this was Katakuri. I started out with Katakuri and I really liked this character because yeah, it's just quite interesting, and you also have this comment feature here. Here it said best bleed in the game. His bleeds do 40%. That this would be amazing, and I noticed that he has this bleed that counts as delayed damage. And since I knew you can build a comp around this, I thought to myself, yeah, let's give that a go, and I just took him. So this is the key component of my account, and I will be building a delayed damage build that focuses around Katakuri. This means right now I have my Katakuri that is a 10-star character, so I did get him up to speed. It's also my strongest character at this very moment. Furthermore, I already managed to get another copy of him, so I might be able to raise him to 11 stars soon. The second character that I then took up is Blackbeard. Blackbeard is on himself quite alright. Also here in the comment section, people say he has insane AoE damage, but that he would be niche and get shot down by late game. I don't really care about this because I'm not using him on himself, but he only has one specific use for me. This is the niche, and that is his turn 2 skill. With his turn 1 skill, he also spreads like this delay damage part, and he will deal damage on his own. That is nice. But the thing that I'm looking for is his AoE detonating delayed damage to deal the delayed damage immediately, as opposed to dealing the delayed damage at the end of turn 2, because this has the potential to shut down the enemy in turn 2, especially if I'm quicker, faster than my opponent. I'm able to deal massive burst before the enemy team can retaliate, and he also has the ability to stun the enemies. This is quite nice because Katakuri has a very strong bleed that actually deals 50% of his attack as opposed to the regular 30%. So this means in his turn 1, he actually spreads his AoE mochi, and he's actually able to stack up to 7 sticky mochi in his turn 1 if he does pull off the standard physical combo. Do not ask me why he's able to stack up to 7 when it says in this ability it's only able to stack up to 2 layers of sticky mochi, but I'm not complaining about it. He actually is able to stack up to 7 stacks of sticky mochi. That's absolutely insane. That means that in the turn 2, Blackbeard will detonate 7 times 50% of his attack damage. That means 350% of Katakuri's attack damage that gets detonated instantly in turn 2. The rest will come pieces by pieces, bit by bit. Since this is a free-to-play account, it's a bit problematic that all the characters that I need are pretty much in the Emperor faction, all in the same faction, and it will just take some time to build up this account the way that I want it to be. So the next one up will be Luffy New World, because he's also nice with the delayed damage, and then later on I will replace my tank with Burgess. Right now, my account looks like this, that I have my Katakuri as the main damage dealer. I have Aokiji just because I happen to get like 8 copies of Aokiji right in the beginning. So I thought to myself, all right, I will just star him up until he's 10 star, and then I will be able to swap him out later. I have Ace, who's mainly there for speed reduction because of his passive skill that reduces enemies' speed by 8%, undispellable in the first 2 rounds. This is really good because the game is all about who moves first. Speed is very important in these types of games, so I really like this passive of his. I also have Law. His role is to boost everyone's attack by 25% before moving. That means that he also boosts the attack stat of Katakuri once he's quick enough. That would mean that instead of 50% of Katakuri's attack, that would actually, if you calculate it through, it's about 62% of Katakuri's natural attack that should be done by his bleed if Law moves quick enough. So that's quite nice. And then I obviously have my Blackbeard that detonates the slow damage. And then I have my tank, which is Jinbe at the moment. I did mess up in the beginning. That was quite unfortunate because I didn't know I cannot reset my characters once they are past level 100. So I'm now stuck with this Luffy that actually is one of the highest level members because I just sacrificed another character for my Aokiji. That means that right now Luffy determines the level of my Jinbe and my Blackbeard because of this devil fruit tree that you will get access to, as you can see here, from the 5 strongest champs that you have with the highest level. The game will always take the weakest link, this is Luffy in this case, and raise the level of every single champion that you have placed in the devil fruit tree to his level if possible. So yeah, right now I will have to upgrade Luffy up until level 185, and once I get another copy of Luffy and I'm able to make another 6-star Straw Hat, I will sacrifice Luffy as fast as possible to make my next 10-star, and also in order to finally be refunded the berry and the experience that I have spent on him. So far, this is the idea. As stated, my next project will be Luffy New World for another character that has very strong damage, is very good in PvP play, and is also able to stack the delayed damage AoE. He also removes buffs from the enemy, so I really like this one as the next character. And then after that one, I will probably move over to Burgess, as he also stacks up the delayed damage with his passive, and he can be really tanky. I'm really curious about him and his playstyle. He's also very fast, so this comp will probably very much revolve around the turn 2, which, yeah, I'm really curious to see once it's done. It will probably take some time. So that's it for today. I think I don't want to bore you with rambling around. This is my account as of right now. If you have any suggestions, just let me know. And before I forget it, one last tangent. I may as well go over the talents as for now. So right now, his talent is the heroism, mainly because I wanted an attack boost in the beginning. I didn't realize that this doesn't raise his attack too much, but rather it boosts physical damage, which I don't think really affects the bleed, but who knows. He has a superior follow-up, but mainly I did a purify on him, and I really like this one because this comp is exceptionally vulnerable to hard CC, so I'm really hoping to remove the debuffs from him. And this is the main component, and obviously physical combos, super important, so that I am able to stack more of those stick emoji onto the enemy. Speaking of debuffs and buffs, I have my Aokiji, who has a very strong vigor, so his recovery and his heal is boosted a lot. And very important to me, he also has a debuff removal. So on the off chance, it's also obviously random, but on the off chance that he is able to remove another debuff, that will be very helpful, since his turn 2 is an AoE heal. So I'm really hoping to cleanse those debuffs. Yeah, Ace, obviously just there to be helpful. Has a little bit of extra speed, but I don't really care too much about him. Nor also just there to buff the attack stat and be quick. He will be useful later, but right now he's just too slow for the entire team. And yeah, Blackbeard, I think this is quite interesting because I have obviously magic combo on him just in order to, in this first turn, spread as much as possible of this delayed AoE damage, get as many stacks as I possibly can onto the enemy. And I really like that he has resistance up, because Blackbeard is really squishy, and this resistance up may result in him not being CC'd for turn 2, and then I also have a damage reduction on him for the first 2 turns, as said, turn 2, very quick burst. I want this very quickly, so he doesn't, this is just there so that he does not die as fast. And I also really like that he has a speed down, because he's actually, you can't see it here, but he's actually quite quick as a character. So since he goes AoE, he may go twice. So my thought process is that he goes in my turn 1 and he slows down the enemy team, so that I'm guaranteeing at least to go first in the second round. It's all about setup for this second round. He does not have a talent yet, still working on that. And my Jinbei, I was blessed to get a really cool craft. It would have been nice to have attack heal or defense, but he has this superior armor that reduces physical damage by 15%, and he also has a damage reduction in the first 2 rounds. So this build is very focused around surviving the first 2 rounds, cleansing all the debuffs, and possibly nuking the enemy in the second turn. That is the focus of this build. This will be it for this video.